Hey everybody, it's Rob from Flailthroughs. This is Gundam Battle Operation 2, and this week we are taking the Buffs We'd Like to See series into space. And we are starting out with the Bishop, which, originally known, or better properly known as the Psychomu Zaku. It is the first thing in the game that had a lock-on Psychomu weapon. It also has these kind of shotgun like mega particle cannons that can be charged for a more linear shot, and that just has some punches for melee. It again, as the first of its type, it is a little bit behind the times, I feel like. So, what do you think?
So, I am the color of wood. Anywho, so this is one of those tricky suits to buff. And it's one of the few 1 year or first year suits that haven't fully aged like milk, I guess. Um, and it doesn't really need a whole lot. It's a very good fire support mobile suit. One of the few problems I do have with it is I feel like the arms take way too long to launch.
Yeah,
That's an insanely long time to lock on, or not lock on, but like to fire and actually get your damage. So the thing, and the finger guns, they have, if you hit all beams, have a 75% chance or 75 uh stun rate to them. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. My main gripe with it is it does only have this gun and then the lock on, and that's it. And then, of course, your melee. I would give it a secondary, another sub in the form of it would act like the Game Ulk's mother funnels, where they would launch out and target. So the way I would do it is the hands would launch out, auto target people, fire one beam, and then come back. 500 damage, 800 damage. Shouldn't be a whole lot if it auto targets and hits.
yeah,
And, do that for a few seconds. Arms come back, you can reload it. Um, and maybe kind of just reduce, because I think it's 12 seconds on overheat for both weapons. Um, I find myself without a weapon a lot of the time when I'm using this suit,
yeah, me
because
too.
I'm constantly going in with it. I'm always trying to have uptime on my weapons. I'm always trying to do damage with it. But 12 seconds on both your weapons when you run low, when you overheat both your weapons, is not great. So I would definitely like to see one of those weapons to be reduced in overheat time. But otherwise, it's really hard to adjust it. It really is. Maybe maybe increase like the how fast the tackle comes out, or I guess the downswing really. Maybe increase the time or how fast that is. You can't really up the resist move would work.
Yeah,
As many thrusters as this thing has, you can't tell me this can't have resist move on it.
mm-hmm.
Um, but otherwise, I'm not too sure what else you could do with it. What about you, Rob? What do you think?
One thing I would really like to see is, I think an additional weapon would be good. I would like to see a single hand version of the Psychommu uh, available, because having your main weapon totally unavailable while you're launching the Psychommu is not just your main weapon, but also your melee. You can't, once the Psychommu is out, you can't do anything until it returns. Just,
Only tackle.
yeah, only tackle. So, I feel like even at 350 at this point, it would not be overpowered for it to have, actually be able to defend itself at close range while that weapon is out. I think that's like the biggest thing I would like to see with it. I think otherwise, I'm with you. A few adjustments here and there would be good. I think, yeah. I want to say there is a skill that ups. I forget whether it ups the damage or the fire rate of your hand weapons of your main weapon while your Psychommu weapon is deployed. And I feel like if you did the one-handed Psychommu as a sub weapon, that might be a decent thing to give it to. Just make it able to fire a little bit faster or a little bit stronger. Again, just mainly to be able to protect itself as a relatively slow support. Also, it's got legs. Put it on the ground.
Nah, we gotta wait for the perfect Xiong for that. So, yeah, I'm kind of noticing the way this thing boosts. It doesn't do that shove its legs forward, but I'm pretty sure that's because of one of its abilities, I would assume. But like the Psychomu Zaku, the raid version does not have that. We'll talk about that in the next portion. But yeah, this is just one of those suits that I find incredibly difficult to buff because it's like it needs something, but in the right hands, and this goes for pretty much every suit in the game. You put somebody who's good in this suit, and they're going to absolutely destroy whatever comes their way. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it just needs that little touch of love. Just a smidgen, not a whole lot.
Yeah. What do you think, as opposed to adding?
Oh, I didn't think that was going to travel that far.
Sorry. That's okay. As opposed to adding other weapons or any of the other changes, what do you think about giving it overload so that it has just like a good 30 seconds where it can just keep locking on or keep firing at close range? Do you think that would be too much, or do you think that would be a good skill for it?
If they do overload, I would change the way the hands function instead of doing this. Because like I said, it's got 75% stun rate.
Yeah.
If you hit all the beams. So you have to be careful with overload for this suit. If it was me, I would have each finger act like a machine gun. And then, he would have his hands out like he does now, and it would just alt fire each finger. Low damage, it would act like Quest's minigun.
Okay, so overload. Yeah, so more like a limiter release than an overload, probably.
Yeah, I think overload would be a little too much for this suit.
It could well be.
That might be just having some more uptime on the hands, or just a weapon like that would help this suit stay in the fight longer than having to hide.
Yeah, just a little bit more to make sure it doesn't have a lot of time where it's totally defenseless, because this is one of the few things left in the game, I feel like, where if you overheat all your weapons and use your boost, you've got basically nothing.
Yeah.
All right, and we are following up with the Psychomu System Zaku, which I want to say probably in the old MSV model kits, one was like the Psychomu Zaku and one was the Psychomu Zaku test type, something like that. But yeah, it is a raid, so it is a good bit faster, but it does have that braking animation. I wonder, does it have AMBAC? I forgot to look.
I don't know. I didn't check, but it needs it if it doesn't.
Yeah, it can cancel out of that braking animation to do its melee. So that's something, I guess. But yeah, and man, you were right. That just
you're stuck in that.
Yeah, that melee animation, you cannot cancel out of that. That
you need to commit when you use it.
Yeah. Otherwise, its main weapon is a lot more focused than the bishops, but it cannot charge. But in return, it does have two different Psychommu weapons. It has the side type and the rear type, which I'm pretty sure the rear attack, if it connects, stuns in one hit. But yeah, also forced injectors and maneuver armor, which not the worst thing, but yeah, probably combined with that really weird just downswing lag is not going to be enough. What do you think?
So again, same with the bishop. Hard to buff. This is one of those suits that can be considered ratty, and that's like a War Thunder's term, like when you use something small, fast. Well, this is not exactly small. It is extremely fast, and depending on how you play it, it can be extremely strong. So it's hard to buff. The beam fingers, they have the same stun rate as the bishops at 75%. So if you hit most of your shots, you will stun, and that includes through maneuver armor. It's kind of silly. Um, Talking about the downswing, you are stuck in this animation until your suit starts lifting up the arms. That's a problem. You have to fully commit to that downswing, and it's not even a good downswing. It doesn't do much damage. Um, after you can take a swing at me. Yeah, so that was only what, like 3,000?
I think so.
And
Unfortunately, you went off screen, so I wasn't able to quite see.
yeah, so like you do 3,000 and you're stuck in that animation just to be retaliated against. It's not good. So I definitely would have it to where it doesn't get stuck. Like you can boost out of it the moment your hammer blow is like halfway through. So like right as he does the final swing, you should be able to just go.
Yeah.
There's no reason to stay stuck in that. So this suit, now I don't really care for Thunderbolt, but it does have one of the coolest scenes in Thunderbolt in the last few seconds of it. It launches its arm and grabs a gem by the head and point blanks it with the fingers. That would be a very nice and really cool grapple technique. And I would do it where it would do, straight up just a single shot, a single volley. One hand, so it would be if he could stop, shoot me, or tell me how much damage you do.
Okay. With main weapon?
Yeah.
1760.
All right, so divide that by half, and that's how much that attack should do.
Yeah.
Because it's all 5 fingers hitting at once.
Hey, let's go down here to the Scurry real quick. I want to check something.
No, you can't mount it.
No, not that. It looked like the beams kept going, and I don't think this has piercing, but I just want to check.
No, they do. They pierce.
Okay, that's something at least.
So both bishop and this can pierce targets.
Okay, that I had forgotten about. I knew that the Psychomu attacks could, but I did not realize that the main weapon version can.
Yeah. So and that goes for the sub weapons too. The sub weapons of both the bishop and the Psychomu Zaku, every weapon on this suit pierces.
Nice.
But like again, the weapons here, they launch very, very slow. If you know you're being targeted, you could legitimately boost backwards and not get hit by those. If you don't mind, launch your fingers at me and
all right,
we'll see. They come in just like that. You're out of the range.
Yeah, you took one small hit, and like I said, the rear attack is supposed to stun, and because you have maneuver armor, did not do it.
Yeah, so that is, this suit is, like I said, it's tricky, and I wouldn't mind if it got the grapple hook. They got to get rid of that weird downswing lag that this suit has, because that's terribly awful.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot it has dodge roll.
Yes, it does.
So I don't think it needs, though overboost would be nice. The ability to, what's that skill called when you boost and you can fire at the same, mobile fire, right?
Something like that. Yeah, or fire. It might even be just fire boost. I forget, but it's the one they just added to the new Gundam, I think, where when you have a Psychomu weapon locked on, you can fire while boosting.
Yeah. But that would only work if if it got the grapple attack.
Yeah.
Because when it launches its arm, it does launch both.
That's right.
But
yeah.
It could give it what the Sinanju has, where it can boost and fire its main weapon at the same time. The Dom Resonance has that too.
Yeah.
Which is 400 cost. So give it that skill so it can do something on approach. Because again, like its downswing, if you're boosting, you cannot fire until the boosters are back behind again.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of downtime with this suit, and that's a problem.
Yeah. Like you can lock Psychomu weapons on while boosting generally. Actually, can
But
you
you
only
can't fire these.
Yeah, you can't fire them while you're in the braking animation. It will, if you release the button, it just won't do anything.
You can't.
Oh, you can't. Yeah, this is one of the ones you can't lock on while boosting.
Yeah. So
Okay,
that needs
yeah.
to be, that could be adjusted too, and that could go for both Bishop and this suit.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's this is one of those tricky suits, like the Ifrit, like the Bishop, to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because like I said, you get a good person in either of those suits, and they're gonna tear everybody a new one.
Yeah.
But for like the majority of the player base, you can't do anything with this suit.
Yeah. It's definitely something. It's definitely one of those things that just really, if you specialize in it, you can do really great things. But also just at this point, what, 7.5 years after it was introduced, why would you specialize in it?
Yeah, when there's better raids that can be more direct with their damage.
Yeah. So, yeah, it could definitely use some work. If anybody has any suggestions, as always, love to see them in the comments. Other suits you'd like to see, also welcome. But for now, that is gonna do it for today's Gundam Battle Operation 2. We will be back soon with more. Till next time, everybody take care and have fun. Later.